I want to thank you all for coming today, and I have a couple of special guests that I would like to introduce before we begin. In the front row here, we have seated Mr. Larry Hayes. Larry Hayes is the second great nephew of our flag designer, Dixie Cornell Gebhardt. Beside him, we have Michelle Rose, who is the second great niece also of our flag designer, Dixie Cornell Gebhardt. Thank you so much for coming out today. We really appreciate this. My name is Marla Suter. I'm the State Regent for the Iowa Society Daughters of the American Revolution. It's an honor for me to be here today as we celebrate the 100th anniversary of the adoption of the Iowa flag, and also to pay tribute to its designer, Dixie Cornell Gebhardt. Mrs. Gebhardt also served the Iowa Society as the 12th State Regent, having served from 1915 to 1917. Mrs. Gebhardt's design for the Iowa banner was approved on May 11, 1917 by Iowa's Council of Defense. And immediately the banners were ordered and given to our military members who were deploying to serve in World War I. It wasn't until 4 years later when the 39th Iowa General Assembly adopted the Iowa flag on March 29, 1921. Iowa was the 46th state to adopt a state flag. To truly appreciate the design of the flag, it's important to understand the designer's intent. In her own words, Mrs. Gebhardt explains, Iowa's flag should embrace the history of its domain from the time of its occupation by the Indians to discovery by the French and purchase from Napoleon by Jefferson to its admission into the Union down to the present time. The tricolor of France represents the first flag that flew over our land. The blue stands for loyalty, justice, and truth. The white for purity, and the red for courage. On the white center stripe is an eagle carrying in its beak blue streamers inscribed with the state motto, "Our liberties we prize, and our rights we will maintain." The word Iowa is in red letters just below the streamers. I hope now when you're able to look at the flag, you look at it through a new lens of understanding and come to better appreciate its design and history. Lieutenant Governor Gregg will now share some remarks and present the Iowa Flag Day Proclamation.
Well, thank you and good morning. It's an honor to be here with you today, and it's an honor to serve you in the role of Lieutenant Governor. Let me start out by saying that Governor Kim Reynolds sends her regards. She's not able to be here today. She had an unforeseen scheduling conflict, but I wanted you to know how honored and proud I am to represent her and represent our team, represent our state here with you today. Thank you for that nice introduction and also for providing such a tremendous history lesson on our flag's history. You know, I learn something new every day, and I never recognized the nod to the French flag in light of the fact that it had been French territory. So I always appreciate learning something new. And also learning something about the caring hands that designed it as well. It's a privilege to welcome you, members of the Iowa Society, Daughters of the American Revolution, to our beautiful capital to honor Dixie Cornell Gebhardt and celebrate the Iowa flag flying over 100 years of our state's history. As a member, you walk in Dixie's footsteps as a passionate keeper of Iowa's history, a steadfast patriot, and a role model for young women. It's a tradition of honor, service, and education that's truly a gift to our state. Our liberties we prize and our rights we will maintain seem to have such a deeper meaning as we gather together and take the many lessons we've learned from our past to shape a stronger and brighter future for all Iowans. Thank you for being an instrumental part of that journey. And now through this proclamation, we mark this day in our state's history as Iowa Flag Day and take this entire week to celebrate the life and legacy of Dixie Cornell Gebhardt. So Governor Reynolds has previously signed this proclamation, which I'll now read. Whereas March 29, 2021 marks the 100th anniversary of the adoption of the Iowa state flag by the 39th General Assembly. And whereas Knoxville is known as the birthplace of the Iowa state flag, And whereas Dixie Cornell Gebhardt, the daughter of a Civil War veteran, was born on November 18, 1866 in Knoxville, lived most of her life in Iowa, and died in Knoxville on October 16, 1955. And whereas Dixie Gebhardt, while serving as a state regent for the Iowa Society Daughters of the American Revolution, designed the Iowa flag in 1917. And whereas the blue stripe of the banner stands for loyalty, justice, and truth, the broad white stripe for purity, and the red stripe for courage. And whereas the eagle carries blue streamers inscribed with the state motto, "Our liberties we prize and our rights we will maintain," thus combining our national symbol with our state motto. Now, therefore, Kim Reynolds, Governor of the state of Iowa, does hereby proclaim Monday, March 29th, 2021, as Iowa State Flag Day, and the week of March 28th through April 3rd, 2021, as Dixie Cornell Gebhardt Week. Congratulations.
And Lieutenant Governor, before you disappear here, I have we have a scarf, and I think we have a couple of members in the audience that are wearing the scarf. This is a DAR scarf that was designed to commemorate the 100th anniversary of the adoption of the flag. The scarf features a picture of Dixie Gebhardt as well as the Iowa flag prominently. And you have assured me that you will deliver this to the governor on our behalf.
I'll get it done.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So I want to thank you all again for stopping by today and joining us in this celebration. If any of you are available, we are having a half-day-long celebration in Knoxville this afternoon as well, beginning at 3 o'clock in the Knoxville Public Library. So if you
Hello and welcome to the 100th anniversary of the Iowa flag. As you know, Dixie Gebhardt actually lived in at the Chamber House next door. And so we're really privileged not to just have her in our town, but that she was able to share the history of Iowa in the flag. And there's going to be a number of people who are going to be talking about that. So I'm really excited. And I'm going to ask all of the people who are going to be talking to stand here in front of the screen, because we have people on Zoom that are going to be watching. And so we have them from Wisconsin, and we have them from a number of other areas. So I welcome you, and I welcome you. My name is T. Waldman Williams, and I was able and privileged to work with 3 incredible women. Marla Suter, who is the state regent for the DAR, Daughters of American Revolution. Kay Jensen, volunteer extraordinaire. And Rosalind Thompson, who is also the director of the library. So I'm very privileged. But I'm going to ask Rosalind to come on up and talk about what went on this morning.
T, thank you so much. I have to tell you, T's really been a driving factor of making this happen today, both at the Capitol and down here. So this morning we met at the Capitol Rotunda, up at the State House, and Lieutenant Governor Gregg was signing Governor Reynolds signed the proclamation. She was busy this morning, so Lieutenant Governor Gregg read it out loud and presented it to us. We had a gathering up there of about 48 people or so. I think we do have video of it, so that may come out later. But it was a wonderful morning. Also this morning, on the desks of all the House and the Senate, we placed those cards with the Iowa flag lapel pin on them, and they're available up here on the table. Please stop by, grab one, take one with you when you go, and always wear your flag pin with pride. Thank you, T.
So this afternoon, we're going to have Mayor Brian Hatch come up and read the proclamation. He has been with us for quite a few years as our mayor, and we're really thankful because he has helped us move through, streetscape and helped us move with the county through the VA hospital, and it just has done so many other things. And I think we're lucky to have him as our mayor. So Mayor Hatch is going to read the proclamation for the city. So Mayor Hatch.
Thanks, T. I told her the only way I would do this if she promised to say a few nice things about me, so we made up a couple of those. Well, welcome, you guys. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for allowing the city to be a part of this wonderful celebration. I will read the proclamation on the Iowa Flag Day. Whereas March 29, 2021 marks the 100th anniversary of the adoption of the Iowa state flag by the 39th Iowa General Assembly. And whereas Knoxville is known as the birthplace of the Iowa state flag. And whereas Dixie Cornell Gebhardt, daughter of a Civil War veteran, was born on November 18, 1866 in Knoxville, lived most of her life in Iowa, and died in Knoxville October 16, 1955. And whereas Dixie Gebhardt, while serving as state regent for the Iowa Society Daughters of the American Revolution, designed the Iowa flag in 1917. And whereas the blue stripe of the banner stands for loyalty, justice, and truth, and the broad white stripe for purity, the red stripe for courage. And whereas the eagle carries blue streamers inscribed with the state motto, "Our liberties we prize, and our rights we will maintain," thus combining our national symbol with our state motto. Now therefore, I, Brian Hatch, Mayor of the City of Knoxville, Iowa, do hereby proclaim March 29, 2021 as Iowa State Flag Day, and the week of March 28th through April 3rd, 2021 as Dixie Cornell Gebhardt Week.
Well, we have some legislators or people who have been elected besides the mayor who are going to come and speak. But I just want to let you know that after all of that is over, and then starting at 4:30, we started an essay contest for what does the flag mean to me with 6th graders. And there were 25 finalists out of about 122. And we had 2 people who judged it, Steve Woodhouse and Kay Jensen, and I appreciate that so much. And 3 of them are the finalists, and you'll hear them at 4:30. So no matter what, I hope you come back and are able to hear them, because how they think about the Iowa flag is so unique and differently. So I can hardly wait until you hear them. The other thing on the back is that here's our illustrationist, Cindy Gordon. She drew a lot of pictures for a book that's being written about Dixie Gebhardt, and you can see her exhibit outside as well as on the cards, and I wrote some poems. And so we're selling those, and every dollar that out of the 5 we get, they're either going to the Historical Society or the Friends of the Library. So you get to choose where they go. So without any more ado, I would like to have Keisha Johnner, who is one of our county supervisors. She's pretty new as a county supervisor, but at the same time, she has been there for a very long time because she's just been there really studying how to be a great supervisor. So I get to serve with her on the Central Iowa Workforce Development Board, and I feel very lucky to be able to do that. So let's give a warm welcome to Keisha.
Thank you, everyone. I greatly appreciate it. What an honor. What a magnificent flag we have. You know, when looking at it, our liberties, our rights that we will maintain are just a few of the words that stuck out to me. That is on our flag, and it's amazing. I mean, when you sit around and you really study it, it's so exciting that it's been 100 years. As an elected official, I take this flag seriously. I am honored to be a part of the ceremony. This is an amazing honor. Thank you, T. Thank you for all that are involved, because I know that this was a lot of work. Citizens of Knoxville and of Marion County, our heritage runs very deep in the state of Iowa. Let us always cherish and honor what our flag represents. And we must never forget our founders. You know, when we think about this being in our hometown, the town that I grew up in, that is such an honor. What the flag means to us is always something that is very special. Never forget that. And thank you.
Thank you. There were quite a few that were not able to join us, and I know you think, oh yeah, they couldn't join us, but honestly, they really couldn't. But we are lucky to have our sheriff here, Jason Sandholt, and I'm really glad that you are here and as our sheriff, and I thank you for all you do. So if you just come this way so you don't have to jump over the courts, that'd be great. Thank you.
Thank you very much for having me. I wrote down just a couple quick words here. Obviously, Keisha did a fabulous job, and I'm going to echo some of the things that she's already said. But I was asked as part of today's celebration what the Iowa flag means to me. And though I really like the patriotic colors of the blue, white, and red, echoing the flag of France and reflecting the state's history as part of the French Louisiana territory, more importantly to me is the image of a bald eagle with a long ribbon reading, "Our liberties we praise and our rights we will maintain." The statement should never be forgotten. In today's society, our fundamental rights established under the Constitution of the United States are systematically being eroded away. I took an oath as your sheriff to uphold these rights and to support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the state of Iowa. And all of you should take that same oath. No matter what political party you are, it's very important to remember those words. Our founding fathers and the people that came before us, it was very important to them, important enough to establish that phrase, and we should always remember that. So thank you all for coming today, and thank you to Dixie Gebhardt for her creative vision while creating our great American flag, and thanks to everyone that was a part of putting today together for us. So thank you.
Thank you, Sheriff. I always think I have to be better, because when the sheriff's around, you want to make sure you're good. I just want to let you know that there were so many things that went on prior to all of this, and that is there's an exhibit in the library that is only here for a few more days, and it's called The Amazing Iowa Women. And we have all of the storyboards. There's 29 front and back that I invite you to read. And if you fill out a little paper and get it correct, you can get a book about the amazing Iowa women. And while Dixie is not on one of those roll screens, she is on the inside the book. But I think what's really exciting is that we have a young man who is a sophomore in our Knoxville, in Knoxville schools. And he's going to come up and sing two songs, the Iowa flag song and the Iowa song. And it's Mason Hatch, and he's the son of Cindy and Brian Hatch. So come on in. Come on up, Mason. Thank you. He has a great voice. Do you want to stand up?
Yes.
Can you do that?
What land I love the best? Iowa, 'tis Iowa, the fairest state of all the West. Iowa, oh Iowa, from yonder Mississippi stream to where Missouri's waters gleam. Oh, fair it is as poets dream in Iowa. See yonder's fields of tasseled corn, Iowa, in Iowa, where plenty fills her golden horn. Iowa, in Iowa, see how her wondrous prairies shine to yonder sunset's purpling line. Oh, happy land, oh land of mine, Iowa, oh Iowa. you. So that was Iowa's song, and this one is called Iowa's Flag Song. Let us proclaim unto the world the sovereignty it holds, and justify the virtues found secure within its fold. Flag of our homes, flag of our soil, the land that we adore. Iowa land, beautiful land, now and forevermore. No flag on earth of any hue, no flag of rare design could symbolize God's graciousness more than this flag of mine. Flag of our homes, flag of our soil, the land that we adore. Iowa land, beautiful land, now and forevermore. Thank you very much.
Well, Mason, thank you. And
Yes.
of course, we want you to have a pen.
Thank you very much.
So thank you to the Iowa Society of the Daughters of American Revolution for giving that. Let's thank him again. Does he not have to do And just another thing, just so you know, the Iowa flag song was actually written by E.O. Osborne, and he was from Knoxville. And he was a druggist here in town. Do some of you know him? Well, some of you are shaking their heads. Okay, very good. And Esther May Clark is actually from Oskaloosa, and she wrote the music. So thank you.
At age 14, she wrote that. So this is wonderful. You're singing it for us today.
Thank you very much, guys.
Age 14, Esther actually wrote that, the lyric, not the lyrics, but the music. So thank you for adding that. That's really wonderful. Okay.
So I will read a message from Kim Reynolds, Governor of Iowa. Our Iowa flag will be officially 100 years old on March 29th, 2021, and Mrs. Gephardt's design continues to inspire us through our most precious motto, our liberties we prize and our rights we will maintain. Mrs. Gebhardt was a firm believer in educating women and the disadvantaged. Her passion for others was reflected in high levels of volunteerism and a devotion to preserving. As a leader in the Iowa Daughters of the American Revolution, she helped advance the flag's recognition across our state and around the globe. The Iowa flag pinned on my lapel, the governor's, reminds me of Mrs. Gephardt's vast contributions.
This one is from Michaela Bagawet, our Marion County Treasurer. I lived and worked in Colorado and Missouri for a few years each after college. After experiencing life in other landscapes, I embraced the opportunity to return to my hometown and the prosperous scenery of Iowa. To me, the Iowa flag is a lasting symbol of the creativity and purpose that is truly Marion County's legacy. Michaela Bagawet.
And this is from Amy Sinclair, and she says, on our state flag reads Iowa's state motto, our liberties we prize and our rights we will maintain. Even though our flag is 100 years old, and the words older than that. They're just as important today as they were at their creation. As a legislator, these words guide my work as I represent my constituents in the Iowa Senate. My top priorities are protect their rights and liberties, and seeing them on our flag is a perfect reminder throughout the day. And this is from Senator Amy Sinclair.
Thank you.
So this is from Dustin Hite, who's the Iowa House of Representatives, District 79, Mahaska and Marion counties. He wrote, "The decision by the state of Iowa to include the motto, 'Our liberties we prize, our rights we will maintain,' says a lot about the character of Iowans. Liberty and freedom are at the very core of what we believe, from the founding of the state right through the present. Our flag is a reminder of that to the rest of the country and the world." Dustin Hite. And this is it. I want to thank you so much, and please come up and get a pin. See the incredible display that's there from the Iowa Society of, the Daughters of American Revolution. And read the other things that are around too. So thank you. And we'll see you at 4:30. So if you want to hello and welcome back. And my name is T. Waldman Williams. And I have gotten to work with some of the greatest folks on our committee. And I want to reintroduce them because they've just been wonderful. So please raise your hand. Marla Suter, who is our state Iowa Society of Daughters of American Revolution. She's the state regent, just like Dixie was a few years before Marla. And we have Rosalind Thompson. She is the director of our library. And we have Kay Jensen, who is extraordinary volunteer and very much a calm person. But I have some other wonderful people that I've gotten to work with. We have Cindy Gordon, who is the illustrationist, not only for my book, but for the cards that are back there too. So I thank you, Cindy, for partnering with me. We have so many people to thank, but who wants to hear me? So I'm going to get to the show for this afternoon. And this is the first time that we had an essay contest. And it was decided to do it with sixth graders because, well, gosh, they've been writing for a year and essays for a year, am I right? Essays for, you don't recall that. So they've been writing essays for a year. And so I went to Matt Showers, who's back there. Thank you, Matt. He's one of the teachers, and Krista Willis. And they said, yes, I think that would be a great idea and a really wonderful focus for them. So out of about 120 sixth graders, 25 went down to semifinalists, and then we had 3 finalists. And so they are with us today. And so I'm going to ask, just to let you know how their judging went. So they were judged on what they wrote. It had to be 200 words or less. And you know, it's hard to say things in 200 words or less. All right, it's hard for me. And so they had to answer the question, what does the Iowa flag mean to me? And so they had to look at that application. The judges looked at the application, and the judges were Steve Woodhouse, who's in the back, and Kay Jensen. So thank you very much for doing this. So they looked at how they applied that question in their essay, the whole organization of it, and then also the grammar, mechanics, usage. So they were really judged on a whole thing around their essay. They are going to get a couple of some prizes today, but one of the things that I was privileged with is that I got to work with them for a half hour twice to help coach them on how to deliver their essay. And so I'm so pleased to have them come up here. So Aaron Staten, if he'll come on up, and he'll be reading his essay, What Does the Iowa Flag Mean to Me? And so you just come on over here and stand in front of here so they can see you. And here you go. Okay, don't forget. So let's give him a warm welcome.
This is why the flag of Iowa is special to me.
I thought I would take part in this competition because of how much I like the Iowa's flag design and the history behind it. I'm so glad it has been around for 100 years now. The reason the Iowa flag is special to me is because it was created in the same town I was born and now live in for the better part of my life. I always looked at the Iowa's flag and thought of how nice it looked. I never thought that it was created in my hometown, and that just makes it more special to me. I never imagined that I would be writing about our flag, but after hearing about it and the history behind it, it really motivated me to write. I'm extremely proud that this design has been around for 100 years and how perfectly it represents all of our rights and freedoms, as stated in our state motto. Our liberties we prize and our rights we will maintain. The Iowa flag is wonderful not because it's old or created where I live, but because of its rich history, its astonishing design, and meaning. Thanks for putting in the time to have this competition.
Thank you. Thank you, Aaron. I'm so appreciative of what you said, particularly when you said the astonishing design, because I think that really explains not only the rich history, but that astonishing design. Out of all of our states, it turned out that the Iowa flag was, 48th in all of that. I have to come back over. So next up, we have Addison, right? Addie Duncan, and she's going to be coming up and talk about what the Iowa flag means to her. Addie, let's give her a warm welcome.
What does the Iowa flag mean to me? The Iowa flag is important to me because the eagle signifies our freedom. The Iowa flag was made by Dixie Cornell Gebhardt, which is important because she lived in our hometown, Knoxville. It's a very significant year for the city of Knoxville because it's the 100th anniversary of our Iowa flag. Freedom is very important because it shows the bravery of the people that fought for our state and country. You may think of multiple things when you see a flag. When I see mine, I think of freedom, loyalty, patriotism, and the people that fought for our state and country. Taking time to represent our flag shows great honor because we are showing respect for what we have. The eagle that Dixie created on our flag represents freedom. The colors red, white, and blue represent the French flag because Iowa was considered a part of France before the Louisiana Purchase. Dixie created the flag in 1917, and it was finally established as our Iowa flag in 1921. Make sure you take the time to learn about the flag and honor it. The Iowa flag is very important to our community and our state. Thank you.
Thank you so very much. I have to share with you something that happened today, and actually Kay Jensen shared this story. And that is because school doesn't start till 10 o'clock, there were a lot of kids at the Methodist Church waiting to get on the bus. And Kay asked the question, so what's important about today? And this little girl raised her hand and she says, it's the 100th year anniversary of our flag. So you're teaching others through your essays and giving others an idea of what it means, what the Iowa flag means to you. Our next essayist is Sienna Scott, and she's going to come up, and each one of them has a unique flavor about what the Iowa flag means to you. So come on up, Sienna. Let's give her a warm welcome.
What does the Iowa flag mean to me? The Iowa flag was officially adopted as Iowa's flag in 1921, and March 29th of this year will be its 100th anniversary. Our flag was created by Dixie Cornell Gebhardt. The reason this is important to me is because she grew up and lived right here in Knoxville, and her home still stands by our public library. The Iowa flag is also important to me because it represents freedom and the people who have fought for our country. The flag symbolizes bravery, courageousness, and patriotism. When Gebhardt designed the flag, she chose the colors of the French tricolor, flag because that flag was the first to fly over Iowa when the land was discovered in 1673. The color blue on the flag stands for truth, loyalty, and justice. The red stands for courage, and the white stands for purity. The eagle on the flag stands for freedom. The eagle carries streamers in its beak reading our state motto, "Our liberties we prize and our rights we will maintain." Celebrate our Iowa flag on March 29th with your friends and family.
Thank you. Didn't they do a great job? So thank you again. Let's give them another round of applause. So I think that concludes everything, doesn't it? So while the Iowa flag is 100 years today, it's going to continue. Let's say it aloud. Our motto, we will rise, and rights we will maintain. That should speak to the very heart of Iowans, to the character, and to who we are. I want to thank you all for being here. Thank you.